Well, good afternoon, everyone. Hope you're having a great day today. Good to be on with you again. Looking forward to our little time together here today. And Rosa, how are you? Thanks for coming on this morning. See? This afternoon. Christine, good afternoon. Mary, hello. How are you? Good afternoon, guys. Nativity, how is you? Judy and Sandra from Aurelia. John, how are you? And you're saying morning, aren't you, John? Well, maybe it's morning there. I don't think so. Pauline, how are you? Annette, Linda, Maggie, how is you? Wendy from Markham, how are you? And Nina from Vancouver Island. And this is where we get out west a little bit more in the afternoon sessions. Patty, Madeleine, how are you, Madeleine? Did you have a good birthday last week? Chase, Nick, Steph, how are you, Steph? Joss, Sturgeon, Brenda, Campbell River, BC, right? Mark, Etta, and Nick from our staff. Good to have you on. Francine Rushfall. Do you know that my grandmother was a Rushfall? Dorothy, how are you? Vera, Pat, and Rowan. Hope I'm staying warm. I am. Paula, Arizona. Sunny, Arizona. Daniel and Lisa. Shelley with a C. How are you, Shelley? Louise. Bon après-midi from Sudbury. Winann and LaSalle and Edith and Marnie. You guys are great. Thanks for coming on. Diane, Deborah. Okay, let's get going. Angelica from Wisconsin. Yolande. Are you all ready for Christmas, guys? Marilyn, Deb, and Diane. Okay, here I go. Okay, a couple of stories out. There was a study done, again, they were looking for, this is, the researchers were hoping, here, let me read you the headlines. Researchers were hoping plant protein would reduce mortality. They were hoping that plant protein would reduce mortality. You know what they found? Just the opposite. They actually found that animal protein reduced mortality compared to plant protein. And they didn't have to do a study. All they had to do was ask me. And I would have given them Nutrition 101. Because plant protein, I'm not saying it's no good, okay? I'm not saying it's no good. We talked about it the other day. When you take some peanuts and legumes and you break down their protein, you don't have what they call a complex protein amino acids. You need the essential amino acids. They're found in the animal kingdom. Plants are good. Animal products are better. How's that for a headline? I could have saved them all the trouble. But they were really out to get animal protein because they wanted to show that the protein from plants was every bit as good. And it comes out of a Time magazine article that it was talking about you got everything you need. And what the picture was showing, a little teaspoon of peanut butter versus a steak. Guys, I got to tell you, there's no comparison. No comparison. So they came up short. And remember, okay, like that's as far as mortality. But look, not all vegetables, like some of them are pretty good in terms of their protein, as far as vegetables are concerned, but they're very high in carbohydrates too. And this is what we need to be careful about, okay? Like nobody ever died from eating eggs, meat, and cheese, and fruits and vegetables. Nobody ever got fat. Nobody ever died from that, okay? You don't die from that. You don't get sick from that. If you stick to the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom, you'll be all right. It's the man-made kingdom. And I say that like starting with bread. Because bread isn't, unless you're making it at home, it's not like, it's all carb, very little protein. Store-bought bread is like store-bought milk. It's just no good for you. That's what fattens you up. Okay? And that's what fattens people up. And that's why we have a crisis today. Now, here's I just got to mention this, okay? I got to mention this. This came out on the Friday, okay? This came out on Friday, New York Times, okay? In the New York Times, they said the virus attacks fat tissue. Big headline, New York Times. The virus attacks fat tissue. And under the headline, if you read the article, they're saying that when they analyze the deaths and the ones hospitalized, okay, there's a couple of things that they found. One, number one was old age. Okay? So number one factor was old age, number one. Number two, obesity. Okay? Old age, over 80. Obesity was number two factor. Number three was diabetes. So, old age, okay, over 80. Two, obesity. Three, diabetes. And you know what the fourth one was? You guys will know this. I know you know it. Low levels of vitamin D. And when you are bigger, if there is obesity, people, this is one of the huge problems in African Americans, for example, okay? It's just a fact. Their obesity rate is very high per capita. Their diabetes rates are very high. Very high everywhere in North America, but they're extremely high. Okay? And they have extremely low levels of vitamin D. Again, most of the population has low levels of vitamin D because they won't even test it. But when people were hospitalized, old age at the top, obesity number two, number three, diabetes, and number four, vitamin D. Now, part of the problem too, of course, was high blood pressure. That was number 5 on the hit parade of what made you susceptible. What made you susceptible? And it's interesting. This is the New York Times. They're reporting. Good for them. I wish people would get the memo and change their eating habits, change their diet. There's nothing that will affect your immune system more than your diet. And Viderma, vitamin D. And remember, there's 3 ways you're going to get vitamin D. The best, the very best, is the sun. Okay? However, for those living in Canada, not only Canada, of course, but those living in the, northern hemisphere, and even the problem with Floridians, even if they don't even go in the sun, the vast majority of Floridians, they get 300 and, I read it the other day, 322 days, I think, a year of sun. The sunshine state. And they don't even get in the sun. Even young kids. They bought the lie. So the best source of vitamin D is Viderma, the sun on your skin. Arms and legs, 20 minutes, 10,000 IUs. How can 10,000, and you never, ever, ever, listen, they've never even seen one case where someone got too much vitamin D from the sun. It doesn't happen. Your body takes what it needs. But in 15, 20 minutes, you get 10,000 IUs. And I know, we're scared skinny of vitamin D. The second way to get vitamin D is food. Remember, vitamin D is a fat-soluble vitamin. And it's only found in the animal kingdom when you eat eggs, meat, and cheese. Now, the problem with eating vitamin D, okay? And when I say meat, I mean fish too, obviously, because of cod liver oil. That's the way we used to get vitamin D. So you get it from the sun, you get it from food, and it has to be animal-based because there's no vitamin D in the plants. Now, plants need the sun, as you well know, to grow. But when you eat plants, you don't get vitamin D. You need to eat, and this is one of the reasons that when I use the term Eskimos or Inuit or First Nations, they get a fair amount of vitamin D, not from the sun, but from their eating their organ meat and their, eating cod liver oil. They eat it. They eat that liver. And they get vitamin A and vitamin D. And the third way is by supplementing. And I highly recommend supplements of vitamin D, especially combined with vitamin K2, in order to augment your vitamin D levels. Okay? For people that, one, are not living on organ meat and, and for those who can't get in the sun. Okay? And they, the sun might be out when it's 20 below, but you're not getting much vitamin D because you're not exposing your arms and legs. The sun is always good, by the way, always. Because when you're not making vitamin D from it, you're making melatonin. Okay, your body makes melatonin. Supplement companies didn't invent melatonin. Melatonin is made inside your body when you're in the sun. Sunshine on my shoulders make me happy. Yeah, because you get vitamin D. Plus, you get very important melatonin. And you need melatonin to sleep. Okay? Got it? Okay. So that was the study. I found it very interesting. Very interesting. And you know, there was someone online the other day talking about negatively about eggs. And, eggs are, well, listen, one thing I recommend, okay, just let's talk a little bit about eggs, because the question was asked, Dr. Martin, do I really like eggs? And why do you like eggs? Doesn't that elevate your cholesterol? And of course, yes, it elevates your cholesterol. Whoopee doopy. That's what you want. When you eat eggs, you're elevating your HDL. What is HDL? HDL is the long chain, okay, lipoprotein. It's an Amazon truck on the highway. It is FedEx. It's Canada Post. It's US Post. It's on the highways of your blood vessels, HDL. And the more HDL you have, the more it can pick up those bad fats in your bloodstream that are the cause of heart disease. And one of the major causes of heart disease is triglycerides, 3 fat balls. But you need those wagons, you need those trucks on the highways of your blood vessels, and that's what eggs do. Remember, your body makes 85% is produced of cholesterol is produced in your liver, because your skin needs it, your brain needs it, your heart needs it, your blood vessels need it, your cells need it. Every cell in your body has cholesterol as a membrane. You need cholesterol in your brain so that your little synapses, your electrical grid in the brain is made up of fat. Cholesterol. Okay? So, yes, eggs will elevate your cholesterol, but the right one, the HDL. And most people in North America, because we are carboholics, because we eat fat-free, we drink skim milk, we live on plants and not animal products. I'm not talking about you because you know better, but I'm talking about the population in general. And you know what? They is wrong. And that's why we have so little HDL in our bodies. Cholesterol, the one that you really need. And you don't want to hammer down your HDL. You want it to go up, up, up. So this is the reason eggs are so good for you. And let me just say this for babies, okay? And I've been saying this a long time. I haven't said it for a long time, but I have been saying it for a long time. Do you know what I mean? No, but I used to tell, mamas, give the baby an egg in its first year of life. You have eggs when you're pregnant, and give the baby eggs, especially in that first year. There's something that happens inside the body that because some people can't eat eggs. Okay? Some people can't eat eggs. And, if you can't eat them, you can't eat them. But most people can eat eggs. And to get baby used to that egg, you should give an egg. Make up a scrambled egg or whatever in their first year of life. Okay? As soon as they're getting on some solids. Okay. So, why do I like eggs so much? Well, one is cholesterol, guys. You need to have good cholesterol. You want to have low triglycerides. That's carbs. That's sugar. That's fatty liver. and you want to have high cholesterol. Okay? I don't care about your total cholesterol. I don't care about your LDL cholesterol. I don't care. I want to know what your HDL is. It needs to be high. You want it to be higher than your triglycerides. But most people are upside down because they're carboholics. And they avoid fat because fat makes me fat. No, it doesn't. Okay? So here's other reasons why I love eggs, okay? So one, you get your cholesterol up. Eggs, they actually use it for a profile, meaning that in nutrition, I remember this when I was taking nutrition courses in the 70s. They take an egg and they compare every other food to it. Because in those days, and by the way, I don't disagree with this. I probably would put steak ahead of an egg. Why not have steak and eggs? You know me and my vitamin S, okay? So eggs they used to do this. I haven't seen it in years, but they used to compare every other food to an egg. They'd list vitamins, amino acids, okay, minerals, and the gold standard by which everything else was measured by was the egg. That's how important and how good for you eggs are. The gold standard. And then they'd measure everything else because it has almost a perfect profile of protein, fat, and no carbs. You might get 1 gram of carbs in eggs. It's when it comes to that. And then it's loaded. It's loaded with vitamin A. I talked to you about vitamin D. Okay. Zinc. And you know what happens as people get older, okay? And especially my parents' generation and my generation, as they get older, they've been lied to for so long that they limit their eggs. I mean, they think fast food or, bad food would be bacon and eggs in the morning. I've had seniors argue with me. Okay? And I mean it. Well, the only thing good on that plate, Dr. Martin, because I'm showing them bacon and eggs. The only thing good there is the toast because it's whole wheat. And I always respected my elders, okay? And I would say to them, in all due respect, okay? What you just told me, it was brought to you by the food industry and big pharma. So you're just repeating their narrative. But I'm telling you, as you get older, you can't beat bacon and eggs or sausage and eggs in the morning. Start your day with it because you're taking a multivitamin, a multi-mineral, potassium, magnesium, manganese, zinc. We're all hearing about zinc and how good it is for you, right? We've been hearing a lot about how good zinc is for you. Well, you eat your zinc. You get it in vitamin S, or you get it in eggs. EMC, 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 eggs, meat, and cheese. So Okay? You know what eggs are famous for? Okay? Eggs are famous for cholesterol, multivitamin mineral, okay? Trace minerals. You know what another thing eggs are really good for? Choline. Do you know what choline is? Okay? Choline is an amino acid. Okay? And choline specifically helps with your neurotransmitters, acetylcholine, neurotransmitters in your brain. Man, we got airheads today. Airheads. The brain is shrinking because people don't eat the fat that they need. And the fat and eat the, when I go to the grocery store and I see egg whites and I see people, my doctor told me to lower my cholesterol, it gives me a splitting migraine. Like egg whites. Eat the yolk, man. That's where all the multivitamin is. That's where your lutein is. That's where your choline is. By the way, lutein, you know what lutein's good for? Your eyeballs. Eggs are great for your eyeballs because they have lutein and zeaxanthin. Zeaxanthin, which helps your eyes. In an egg. In an egg. So for the person that asked me the question, eat your eggs. By the way, okay, eyes, brain, cholesterol, okay? Perfect profile of amino acids, multivitamin. In an egg, you're eating a multivitamin. Okay? Now, I remember these studies have been done for a while, but when it came to weight loss, and I mentioned this in a book I wrote years ago on weight loss, and that was, before we were really talking about intermittent fasting, so this is 20 years ago, I wrote a book. Eat fat and get lean. That was a book I wrote. But this was even before that, okay? And what I was saying in it is that, look, if you want to do intermittent fasting, do intermittent fasting, okay? You know me, I like it. I like it. You don't have to eat in the morning, don't eat in the morning. But it's so important to eat the right fuel. And study after study after study has shown that if you're going to eat in the morning, in terms of weight loss, it's not calories, it's not any of that, has nothing to do with it. It has to do with your feeling where your cells, say it, where your body feels full. They've shown it study after study because, and the example I use is if you have oatmeal, I promise you're going to be hungry in an hour again. And when people are trying to lose weight, it is really, really, really important to choose the right fuel. That is the key. It's not calories, it's fuel. Because one of the things you want to do is hammer that, you want to excrete that hormone leptin. Leptin will tell you that you're full, you don't need to eat anymore. When you eat bacon and eggs in the morning, eggs, have a dozen. I don't care. Your body takes that because it's burning such a good fuel. It's not starving. an hour later. Leave the toast aside. Pretend, as I used to tell my seniors, okay? Put your hand like this and pretend you're dipping your toe. He said, Dr. Martin, how can I eat eggs? How can I eat the yolk without a toast? I said, pretend. Pretend. But the feeling, they've shown it hormonally. Your leptin. You're not going to get what they call leptin resistance. It really does help. High protein, high fat breakfast, eggs. Is it nature's perfect food? Just about. Like I said, for me, and you know, you do have some B12 in an egg, by the way, you do, but it's not enough, okay? Because that you need the red meat for the B12, okay? And you know me, I'm big on B12. I'm very big on B12. I know the importance of B12. Okay? Get the memo? Okay. Interesting. Interesting. So, now, tomorrow, afternoon session. Again. Wednesday, and we'll post this for you. Wednesday, I'm traveling. Okay, so there'll be no program Wednesday. Thursday, back in the morning. And Friday is our question and answer. Okay, a little bit of change in the schedule this week due to unforeseen circumstances. Okay? And I don't like to mess you guys up. I really don't. I try and stay on schedule, but, you know, when you're producing something every day, things happen, okay? And so, couple of housekeeping. Remember, if you haven't got your Christmas gifts yet, it's not too late, okay? Order the book, The Reset, for your friends, okay? Do I push that? Yep, because it's good for you. I'm not even shy about it. It's a tremendous, thank you for making it the #1 health book in Canada, okay? And it's coming in the United States, amazing. And we appreciate that. That's you guys doing it, okay? So that's a way you can finish off your Christmas shopping. If you're not a member of the private Facebook group, okay, why not? Please join us, okay? We want you to join our private Facebook group because we got such a great group there. What a community it really is. And if you don't get our emails, okay, if you don't get our emails, you're not on our email list, you want to get on that because we really do put a lot of meat on the bones when it comes to nutrition in our emails, okay? So, and I might even do one this week because of the new studies on nitric oxide. They've just been fascinating, okay? So, folks, we love you guys. Remember, tomorrow will be afternoon, okay? Talk to you soon.